What's up, everyone? This is your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. How is everyone doing today? Hold on. There we go. Oh, sorry. All right. I am back. I know I've been gone. I was on a hiatus for ever, it seems like. About a week. As many may know, I just had another baby girl. I am completely outnumbered at this point. But yeah, so last week, I guess. Yeah. Was it last week? No, the week before. So yeah, well, I guess last week. I don't know. Around the 20th, 21st. I have my wife gave birth. So we had a little bit of minor complications. Nothing with the baby, but my wife had extremely high blood pressure. So I ended up taking the whole week off last week to take care of her and spend some time with my new family, or the new addition to my family. So I want to double check something, but yeah, so that's what happened. I was already planning to take the time off anyway, so it wasn't like a big deal. Okay, cool. I didn't make sure that my audio was good. Anyways, because it's been a minute. So yeah, that's why it was gone. I was taking care of my wife, spending time with the new one, and all that. So I'm on paternity leave, so I should be regular schedule and good to go for a good amount of time. God damn, that is like terrible. That's a little better. Yeah, so I'm on paternity leave for like 3 months. So be doing regular schedule broadcasts. I think I will try and do middle of the day gaming streams and maybe at night gaming streams. Or just gaming streams at night. Haven't quite decided yet. We will see. But yeah, so I'm back. Now, last week, right in the middle of the week, while I'm relaxing, all this big drama happened with Crowder. Which kind of sucks because I do local news, or I do not local news, but I do events, like what's the word? In time events. So when something big happens, it's makes things a little easier when you can do it while it's happening. Report, talk about the real time news while it's happening, and everything. But it's when you already have a plan, it just kind of backfired on me, really. But well, not really backfired, but it kind of just sucked. All this dropped while I was in the middle of my my relaxing time, because then it's like, oh man, I really want to talk about this stuff, but I really can't because I'm busy. But it is what it is. What can you do, really? What can you do? Um, anyways, so yeah, all this drama with Crowder happened. His old producer, not gay Jared Monroe, uh, started making claims, and then CEO of Louder Crowder, Gerald Morgan Jr. Right? Yeah, he made his own comment. So we're gonna watch both. Let's see. Gerald is 15:30, and Gerald, or sorry, not Gerald, Jared is 15:30, and Gerald is 34 minutes and 25 seconds. And then also, because it's been a while and many people may forget, we're going to look at the original footage that started all this drama. That apparently makes him complete and makes Crowder a complete abuser. This very thing. Now, I disagree. Obvious reasons. So let's get into it. I'm gonna get my headphones. Now, before we get into it, just some housekeeping stuff. Make sure, as you can see on the scroll above me, I don't know how to change the color. I'll try and figure that out in a bit. Follow me on at official W Ghost on oh, here we go. That's how I do it. There we go. That's a little better. Follow me at official W Ghost on Rumble or on X. That's the best way to find out when I go live and everything, because I tweet whenever I go live. Actually, shout out to Rumble Videos. They retweeted my my go live thing, so I appreciate that, guys. Hopefully that brings more people in. If not, it is what it is. I'm hoping with the consistency and the ability to actually focus and be able to do this and maybe do better research. Since I'm not working currently, I might be able to upgrade the show's quality, but we will see. But yeah, on X at official W Ghost, best way to find out when I go live. And then when you do find me go live, when you do see me go live, make sure you follow me for sure on Rumble, rumble.com/withghost. Rumble is the best platform for free speech, and it's growing. Buy Rumble stock while you got a chance. It's only $7.50 right now, and it's gonna go up. They're releasing a bunch of things. They're improving Rumble as often as they can, and it's really great. I love Rumble very much. Also because it's just the last bastion of free speech. The CEO, Chris. Oh shit! How do you say his last name? Hold on. Chris Patovich. Dear Lord. Chris Pavlovsky. Chris Pavlovsky. He was recently on Fresh and Fit and did an interview with them, which was really cool. I don't see many CEOs of big companies doing that, going on their own creators' channel and talking to them and answering questions live in front of their audience. So shout out to him. That's why Rumble is the best. And then, of course, twitch.tv at official with Ghost. I believe that is my Twitch one. And then youtube.com/withghost is where you can find me on YouTube. And yeah, so let's see. I think that's all the housekeeping. Check out Coffee Brand Coffee. It's what I drink. I am gonna probably go and try the 1776 coffee of Rumble. To see how that tastes. So yeah. All right, so let's get into it. I've rambled enough. I'm sure you're all sick and tired of me hearing. So let's just do this. All right. All right. So here is the infamous video. This is what has angered everyone and has labeled Crowder as an abuser, apparently. So let's listen.
Because I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do waifu things, then I will go pick up the groceries. Steaks. Wood pellets. My grill. I know it's an unreasonable request, but I'll go do it. How about you first? Hillary, how do you respect the man? Yes. How do you man?
I don't know if anyone caught that, but there was a bit of a jump, wasn't there? There's a bit of a jump.
I'm the man. I see love comes back. No. How do you man? No, you're not taking the car.
Steven,
You're not taking the car.
Steven,
You are not.
then I will ask someone to pick me up. Would you like me to ask?
Right?
Is that correct, Steven?
Get an Uber.
Okay, Steven, I can't.
Feeling some constraints?
Steven.
Like I can't
Steven.
go. Listen to me. Listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't go. I can't be home. You're gonna take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either.
See,
Do you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going, I'll be back when I'm back?
Steven,
And then you feel easy. The only way out of this is discipline and respect. It's the only way out of it, or we're at an impact.
we are going to pass.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline or respect.
Steven,
Yeah. There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Steven.
Hillary,
Steven,
you give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impact.
Steven, no, we are at an impasse, okay? I love you, but Steven, your abuse is sick. Your abuse.
Okay. Now here's the general here's interesting. It's really weird. Okay. Who the fuck says your abuse is sick to an abuser? No one does that. All right. No one does that. Okay. No one says that in a regular conversation. Okay. You have never heard someone say your abuse is sick or even use the word abuse to an abuser at all. Okay. So, like, when I first heard this, it already got my ears like, what? No one says this in a regular conversation. Okay. No one says this in a regular conversation. No one says, oh, your abuse is sick in a regular conversation. It doesn't work that way. Okay. You use other words, you don't use an abuse. And if Crowder's such a terrifying abuser, you definitely wouldn't tell him that his abuse is sick. This is what people just completely confused about this whole situation. Is like there's no logic to it.
Watch it. Watch it. Fucking watch it.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit. Okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it. You go, no. But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. It's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right. We're at impasse. Become someone, listen to me, day in and day out, worthy of a life. No, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife. As a wife. Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage. As a wife.
There was another jump cut right here. So let's see if
Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go.
Right, we're at impasse. Become someone, listen to me, day in and day out, worthy of a life. No, not as a wife.
Look, it jumped like it jumped like 10 seconds. All right. Now, how Ring cameras work, people were saying like, oh, well, that's how Ring cameras work. You stop moving stuff. It just shuts off and it won't pick up till you're moving. But he's still talking. He was in the middle of a sentence where it jumped. Interesting edit.
Life. I didn't say as a wife. Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll text me what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not gonna.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to you. Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm good.
Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication as well? No, you take Betty.
Oh, and then there's this little thing. So we have all this footage, and then all of a sudden we don't have a footage of apparently this right here. We have all this footage. Well, not really all this, but 3 minutes and 28 seconds of this footage. But we have this little, oh yeah, this is what happened. This is what we're supposed to trust happened. So there we go. So that's what started it all. All right. That's the beginning. Okay. Before then, right before that, Crowder addressed his marriage, and all he said really was, and what apparently prompted this releasing of this video is, I married the wrong woman who was not dedicated to being a wife, etc., 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 etc. And then this prompted this being released. And then Crowder threatened, if what was agreed to, like what the agreement between them is not going to be here, I'm going to basically scorch earth. So you have etc. minutes before, or etc. days before that happens, to stop bringing this into the public. And Crowder didn't say anything really like of no. All he said was, I married the wrong woman. And even if you want to claim he's an abuser and all that, it doesn't really, what he said, it wasn't really incorrect. Like, and from his perspective, that could be how things are. That he married the wrong woman who didn't want to be committed to a loving relationship, blah blah blah. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said something to that effect. And it was fairly accurate, it appears, anyways. But then this video released, and everyone calls him an abuser. But there's jump cuts. It's very clear she's trying to set him up. And how do I mean that? Well, first off, again, with the legal terminology, your abuse is sick. Okay. And for all we know, this is a 3-minute clip. For all we know, she spent like a day or two needling him, as wives can do. And and pushing his buttons up until the point where he finally was like, snapped, for all we know. As we don't have any context prior, we have no idea what the argument is. And people keep complaining like, oh, he's so rich, but he can only afford one car. Maybe that's all he's ever needed was one car. Ever thought of that? Or maybe his other car's in the shop, and he's like, hey, I don't really need a loaner, because I don't, because it's not a big deal. My wife doesn't go anywhere normally, and I'm staying home or whatever. I don't need to go to work or anything. Like, there's 1,000 different possibilities. But there, and even if none of that's true, and he just has one car, that's up to him. He wanted one car. Who fucking cares? But anyways, this was the video that everyone decided, hey, this means that Crowder is an abuser. I never really got it. He didn't really say anything bad. He didn't say anything really abusive. He said, watch it, fucking watch it. Okay, you've never cussed at your wife before? Bullshit. Okay. Like, the whole thing was just preposterous how it was being labeled. So fast forward to, when was that? Like, when did that video come out? It was like sometimes last year. Yeah, so it was actually interesting. It was almost a year ago. Now that footage was released, and now we're talking about this again. Interesting. All right, interesting. All right, so nearly a year later, and we finally get another update, and apparently it's because Jared wanted to make himself relevant again. So this is Jared. If you guys don't remember, he was the producer of Louder with Crowder before he really blew up. He was, claimed not gay Jared. They did a bunch of skits together. He left, and it appeared to be he left under decent circumstances. because he let's see, what's the word? Because he got a final send off. Everyone, he said goodbye. That hasn't happened for like Owen Benjamin and Sven the computer, or whatever. They never got a real big send off or anything. At least I don't remember. They kind of just disappeared one day. Same with Dave Landau. But it appeared that Jared and them, and maybe it's just because of how big. I mean, I would say Dave Landau, Owen Benjamin, and maybe even they were kind of big, at least in the shows. But anyways, he got a goodbye, a farewell, and all that. He apparently signed an NDA and then got a bunch of cash for signing said NDA, which is very common. But anyways, apparently he decided that he needed to insert himself in this whole business for whatever fucking reason. And here he has what he has to say.
Enough is enough. This can't go on any longer. And as the famous saying goes, sunlight is the best disinfectant. So here we go. I'm currently being legally abused and intimidated into silence by a former employer. This has been going on for a while now, and it simply cannot live in darkness for another day. But I am asking for your help to fight back. First, some context. In late October of 2023, to my surprise, I was served these papers. A cease and desist from my former employer. It threatened severe legal action in the form of a lawsuit and demanded I cease communications with my friends. The scare tactics of cease and desist are generally to intimidate, isolate, and eventually devastate. Like most cease and desist, it also demanded that I swiftly provide them written certificate of my compliance. I did not. In the same delivery, I was also served these papers, a Rule 202 petition from my former employer. You can look that up on the internet. I know I had to. These documents were filed with the county court of my former place of employment, demanding that I be subject to an oral deposition under oath for an unlimited amount of time, where they were free to interrogate me on pretty much any private matter that they chose. Also, in this petition for discovery, they demanded that I turn over documents of all communications with more than a dozen of my friends, an unlimited amount of unnamed persons in any form and over an unlimited period of time. I did not. Now, I did not for a few reasons. Number one, I have seen how this employer handles legal issues, and I knew that once I opened the door to legal abuse, it would never, ever be shut. This is how they operate. In fact, I'm not the only one who's a current victim. My former employer is exploiting the legal system to abuse others right now, all in the darkness, fully knowing that the fear and the risks it takes to speak up.
And how many of those NDAs or how many of those employees signed an NDA, Jared? Like, he's making this whole thing like, I don't know what the NDA says. We haven't gotten any, showing what it is or anything. But, NDAs can cover a broad range of things. And if you're willing to sign it, you kind of can comply. So I don't know, but like, he's like the fear of them saying, well, did they sign an NDA? Like, that's kind of what, that's what I kind of want to see is like, did they sign an NDA? Because it might not be fair. It might be they're respecting the NDA. But okay.
This kind of harassment at the hands of the powerful isn't just designed to financial.
Also, it's interesting. Like, he's making all these claims, but there's no proof really to back up his claims. Of course, Gerald Morgan Jr., I think, confirmed it. Now, I haven't watched this Jared video or Gerald's. I haven't watched any of them, so I don't know. But, at least when this first was released, there was no proof of anything Jared was saying. There was no proof. He's just claiming. He's reading a bunch of papers and he's just claiming things. And this is the key difference between Jared Monroe and guys like Dave Landau. Because with Dave Landau, there's some proof. All right. So if you guys don't remember, Dave Landau was a huge part of the show until basically until the Blaze contract ran out. Um, and then afterwards, Dave was no longer part of the show, which really sucked because I really like Dave. But the difference between Dave Landau and Jared Monroe is that Dave had some, like, at least some proof that you could see. There's things he talked about, like he said, like he wasn't able to promote his show. Um, and I'm sure you're like, what do you mean? He promoted his show all the time? Yeah, but he used to promote his show like every episode, and then it dwindled down to maybe like once a week. I remember he was coming to my city, and I was like, oh, cool. I actually hear my city on my favorite show. That's kind of cool. Yeah, nothing like big deal or anything, but it was like, oh, cool. A show I really like is going to mention a place where I'm living. That's that kind of thing, and he never did it, not once. He didn't say, oh, I'm going to this area, for my tour, blah blah blah. I remember thinking, I was like, that's weird. It's really weird that he's not doing it. So it was things like that. You could actually see him, see what he was saying, and it was becoming. It was, you could see it live, and it was true. So that's why I now. That added to the credence of what he said when he said he was given a contract by Crowder. Now, is it 100% factual that he's telling the truth? No, at least not when it comes to the contract. But he has at least some sort of credibility because everyone can see what was going on. He's like, oh, okay, he's talking the truth about this. There's a chance he's talking about the truth about that. And that's actually why I stopped watching Crowder. It just really left me a bad taste in my mouth because all prior to that, Crowder was bitching and moaning. He was exposing these bullshit contracts at like Daily Wire, who it was hilarious. Daily Wire outed themselves. But he's bitching about the bullshit contracts that he was getting, and the contract that Dave apparently got was bullshit in itself, and it really bothered the shit out of me. I was like, look, you just went on and roasted Daily Wire for giving a bullshit contract. Now you're giving a bullshit contract to Dave. And it bothered me a lot. So that's actually what ended up me stopping watching Louder and Crowder. It is what it is. What can you do? I haven't really watched it since. I've maybe watched a few here and there, but not really. I think I watched one video. I can't remember what it was. But this Gerald Morgan Jr. video is the first video I'll watch of Crowder in a while. But yeah, so that's the difference between Jared Monroe and Dave Landau. And it's just, there's nothing that he says that I can verify. Really, at least when this video was put up, there's nothing I could really verify with that. It's just a bunch of talk. And again, the thing is he keeps demanding to be released from his NDA, but the NDA was something he willingly signed. After that, the NDA is forcibly able to be enforced. Well, it is able to be enforced because you willingly signed it. Sorry, I'm Twitter arguing with someone. But yeah, so he keeps saying release me from my NDA that he willingly signed. No one forced him to sign the NDA. Dave Landau didn't sign an NDA. That's why he can talk about shit. But he willingly signed the NDA, and now he's asking to be released from his NDA. And I have a proposal, Jared. If you really want to be released from the NDA, why don't you pay back the money you got from said NDA? And then you might have an argument. That's just, that might be able to. Just might be able to. I don't know. But yeah, that's just what I think. All right, so let's continue. Sorry. But that's my biggest point. He keeps saying, release it from my NDA, but it was something you signed. Why should he release it? And he paid you the money for signing that NDA, NDA, and now you want to not only reap the benefits, but then also break it.
Actually ruin somebody. It's designed to cripple their soul. And I wasn't about to put my family on embark upon a journey down that road. Number 2, I was not about to allow the privacy of my personal life, the trust I have with my friends, and the real relationships I have with them to be violated in such an vindictive and abusive manner. It simply was not going to happen. I received the latest article of legal harassment on Friday, March 22nd, 2024. After a month now of litigation exhausting even the court with relentless amendments to their Rule 202 petition, my ex-employer was finally awarded their request for my oral deposition and any document of communication with my friends that they believe may provide any avenue to sue me or others. As it stands, they await my forced cooperation. I will not.
Now, that is a very bad strategy, and I hope his lawyers are telling him, like, dude, shut up. That's a bad strategy. Because if a court has awarded discovery or a deposition, you kind of fucking have to do it. Now, they're probably, at this point, it's a willing deposition, so you will have to willingly do it. But then Crowder can go and petition the court to force him to do a deposition. And guess what? If you ignore that, then you're going to fucking get in some legal trouble. Like, it's better just to do the damn deposition that they're requesting. Okay, you can say, oh, I will not, but you're going to end up doing it. Like, apparently there was good enough reason for the court to award an oral deposition and look into your communications. There's apparently a good enough reason, or a compelling reason, that Crowder's lawyers provided that they're like, all right, you definitely have to do this now. So you can say you will not, but you will.
I will continue to fight. Now,
just because you'll continue to fight doesn't mean you'll win, mate.
Here's the big question: is what was their entire reason for this harassment and the basis for their claims? These documents, an NDA.
That you're willing to sign.
For context, I signed this separation agreement, an NDA, containing a strict and very broad non-disparagement clause many years ago.
Again, you willingly decided to sign this.
I voluntarily left my job after deciding I could no longer put myself or my growing family through the toxic and abusive work environment I had endured for years. This place was and is to this day a workplace rife with sexual misconduct, degeneracy, and aggression. The things I saw, the things done to me, and the things I witnessed my employer.
And here's another thing. These are so horrible, so disgusting, so utterly shocking. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Yet you're complicit because you decided, I will not speak out about this. I will sign this NDA and take some money. But now that it's profitable, now that it's also profitable to disparage Crowder, I'm going to speak out. Doesn't make sense. So it's so terrible. He's so toxic, so horrible. You still signed an NDA and took the money. It's like the fucking chicks with the Harvey Weinstein shit. Okay, look, Harvey Weinstein, terrible guy. All right, but all those women who not only did it, but then also let it continue to happen, didn't say shit till it was profitable, are scumbags too. Sorry, sue me. Like what the fuck is this? Like, it's like he's so horrible, he's so disgusting, he's so terrible. But I'm going to take the money and keep my mouth shut. Like, what is this? What are we doing here? And let's see. Let's see. Let's see. When did he leave? Yeah, so he quit in 2018. God damn, he really quit that long ago? God damn. So he quit 2018. So 6 years later, now he's coming out and talking about, all this stuff. Like, he was so horrible, but you allowed it to continue for 6 years and didn't say shit. Okay. Like, come on, dude. Come on. But let's
due
continue.
to others were disgusting, shocking, and utterly indefensible.
Again, you signed the NDA and didn't talk about it. Like, am I the one here? Am I the only one here who's seeing some of this bullshit?
I have the receipts.
Okay, he has the receipts. Release them, mate. Release them. Oh, wait, no, you signed an NDA that doesn't allow you to release them. So all you really have is a claim that you have the receipts. Do you really, though?
This all took a serious toll on my personal health.
Again, you claim.
To the point near the end of my tenure, the work environment had become so toxic that I had to be admitted into a heart hospital. And after many tests, I was ultimately put on anti-anxiety medication.
Again, these are claims you are making. What are the proof? Okay, what is the proof to the claims you are making? That's all I'm asking for. All right, I think I'm a reasonable guy. I'm just asking for the fucking proof of all this. And as far as I know, since Gerald's made his video, since Louder with Crowder responded, Jared has not made a subsequent video. So I don't know. I don't really look. I don't follow Jared on Twitter because I don't give two shits. I really don't want to be defending Crowder because I don't care about him anymore. But come on. But anyways, he claims this is all from work. All of this is from work. What proof do you have that it was due to you working with Crowder? That's all I need.
This condition was something new to me. I had no history of it prior to my employment there and have never been treated for it since. Now, when I decided to resign, my wife was pregnant with our firstborn child. It was a terrifying position to be put in, but I absolutely knew that I could not be the husband or dad I was called to be for them in my current state. Something had to change. And if I couldn't change my work environment, then it was time for me to remove myself from it.
It's fine.
I was fully aware that willfully resigning would mean I would forfeit any sort of severance. I trusted that God would provide.
But that's not true. Like, you didn't really probably get like a full severance, but you got money for said NDA, which is probably why you signed the NDA. But you still signed it. Because you'd be stupid to sign an NDA and not get financially compensated for it. Be stupid.
What I had not anticipated.
Now, what's interesting is makes no mention, at least so far. He has not made any mention of being given money, but we all know he was given money for signing the NDA because otherwise he's a fucking idiot. Like, look, if I leave my employer and they like, oh, we need you to sign an NDA, I'm like, you bitch better write me a fucking check. If you want me to sign this, I need a check. Right? Right? Am I the only one who's like, if I'm going to sign this NDA, I'm going to need a check. So we all know he got some money for that NDA. So the question is, why doesn't he mention it? Very interesting. He's trying to paint himself as this, victim of everything. And he's like, I knew that if I left my job, I wouldn't get any severance. But I got that severance from signing that NDA. I don't know how much that NDA was. Or, how much that amount was. But it was enough for you to sign an NDA. Like, come on. So, like, stop painting yourself as this victim like you didn't get any money out of the deal. You did get money for signing the NDA.
Is how much it would cost me to quit. This is where my first experience with legal abuse began.
So you claim.
Starting from the day I delivered my notice of resignation, I was put on the phone with company lawyers, and the good cop, bad cop coercion campaign to get my signature on an NDA was well underway. I was told many lies throughout this process. I immediately hired my own legal counsel, and by the grace of God, understanding my predicament, he even agreed to work for half of his normal rate. Even so, the legal fees immediately began to pile up. My former employer and his attorney argued I could not work in media anywhere in the world, and most certainly not in the United States for 2 years. This is not because I had voluntarily signed some sort of non-compete in my original employment agreement. It was because they decided a non-solicitation clause that was in said original agreement would retroactively be interpreted as the broadest and strictest non-compete one could draft. He told me my
Again, this is what he claims. I don't know any proof of that.
Twitter account, another potential lifeline to future work, which I had owned and been the sole manager of since 2009, was to be turned over to them on the argument that it was somehow their intellectual property now. Presumably to keep me from working even further, my former employer even tried to claim my personal production equipment, gear I had owned for years prior to working there, as company property.
Now, to be clear, Jared Monroe still has his Twitter account. Okay. Still has it. Sorry, I'm just looking. Hasn't really been a big response. Yeah, there wasn't a big response from Jared. But anyways, so Jared still has the control of his Twitter. So he made this big claim for no reason.
After producing every receipt to validate my ownership, a vicious lie that I stole from the company was born and disseminated by my employer. By the way, breaking their side of this
Again, you have any proof of this?
bogus mutual non-disparagement agreement. I have those receipts as well.
So you claim.
All I simply wanted to do was peacefully leave. It was clear by my employer, though, that this was not only unacceptable, but that I needed to be punished for doing so. Being bullied on each of these terms and many more, fighting for my basic freedoms to leave and provide for my family immediately sent me into legal debt. I did not want to sign anything, mind you.
Oh, okay, sure.
But the negotiations with my former employer left no question that without a signed NDA, my guaranteed silence, I would undoubtedly be harassed well into the future. No matter if there are future claims against me for where I worked.
Here's the thing, though. You probably could have used that, couldn't you? You could have used that. You could have, still left and done your own thing, which you're currently doing, I believe, and use that as fuel. Like, hey, look, Crowder sent me another thing. Crowder sent me another thing. Crowder sent me another thing. You could have done all of that without having to sign an NDA, and that probably would have gotten you views. Just saying.
Or what I did or what I said were legitimate or not. It didn't matter. It would cost me thousands and thousands to fight.
And also, you could have provided the receipts and provided us proof.
Fight back, and they knew that. I had to make a deal.
You didn't have to make a deal. You
With
chose to
nothing
make a deal.
but a small savings account and my last paycheck. I had to accept the deal I could afford.
So you claim.
It's very important to note here that where is it? It's here. I was not paid a single dollar for its consideration.
Bullshit.
Which brings me to what you might be asking next. What was the reason I...
Bullshit. All right. Unless you got any fucking proof, Jared, I don't believe you. Bullshit that you didn't get a single cent for signing an NDA. Then why sign it? You can say, oh, well, I guess you're going to say why you signed it, but I bet that reason's bullshit too.
did sign this. And again, as a man with his first child on the way, the small victory I got from it. The primary reason I signed the NDA was for a small carve-out in the non-compete clause, which allowed me to freely seek employment using some of my skill sets at another specific company. At least I could feed my family.
I don't believe you for a second, Jared. I don't believe you. Bullshit. I don't think you didn't get any money at all. I would like to see a receipt that you didn't get money at all.
That provision, however.
Hey, guess what? And NDAs work both sides. So now either him nor Crowder, unless he wants to break the NDA, can provide any receipts of any of this. So you make all the claims you want.
Was a lie. And upon starting my new job at the new said company, I was giving another one of these, a cease and desist.
So you claim all I see is a bunch of paper. I don't see anything written on said paper. Okay. All I see is paper. What proof do you have?
Promptly unlawfully terminated from that position.
So you claim.
I added thousands more to my legal debt trying to fight back. My wife was very pregnant by this time, and without a financial safety net for groceries and a baby crib, much less a legal fund to file a countersuit, I simply had to let it go, trusting God had a plan. To that point, I want to say that I'm happy to report that he did have a plan, and what was intended for evil, God used for good. And it took me years to pay off my legal debt, but the story of God's faithfulness in my life became a very large part of my testimony. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunities that he gave me. And yeah, it's a story for another day. But back to this. While my supposed non-compete expired after 2 years, unfortunately, the most egregious part of my NDA, the part that silences my free speech, has
That you signed willingly.
no
And
expiration.
I don't believe for a second you didn't get any money out of the deal.
While NDAs are classically used to protect trade secrets, unfortunately, in the entertainment industry, they are too often used to protect disgusting, unlawful activity. And
If it's unlawful, NDA does not cover that. So you can still talk about any unlawful activity and not be held by the NDA. Because NDA, like if I murdered someone and then make you sign an NDA about it because you witnessed it, you can still go to the cops and report it. Like, come on. This is a blatant lie.
many
And again, I really don't care. Like Crowder, if Crowder like loses millions, it doesn't affect me whatsoever. It really doesn't. I have issues with his divorce and everything on like, on a moral level, but like really it doesn't affect me. The only effect it has is I can talk about it and get some views on it. That's the only effect it really has on me. Otherwise, I really could give two shits about it. But this is just bullshit. Like whatever he thought is just complete bullshit. In my opinion, of course. Like all this is clearly my opinion. But it's bullshit. All right. It's bullshit.
forms of abuse. We see examples of this all the time. Powerful people and their attorneys routinely use NDAs to silence victims in order to remain powerful people. Free speech matters. Matters a lot to me, and that's
Then you willfully signed an NDA, so that is restricted of your free speech because that's how that works. You sign it, you don't get to talk about certain things. Sorry.
it's not just a t-shirt slogan. It really matters. And these kinds of NDAs right here, stemming from this, are unquestionably unconstitutional. I will not live with the burden of this unconstitutional NDA over my head for the rest of my life, especially when information I have can be used to aid other victims escape their own abusive situations.
Then you shouldn't have signed the NDA in the first place. What the fuck is this shit? Like, I won't. Like, he's trying to set himself on this moral high ground, but he still signed the goddamn thing. And he claims, oh, it was so I could carve out this non-compete. Yeah, sure. No, it was for the check you got.
Which is the context for which this former employer feels they caught me breaking my agreement. Let me be clear. What I'm afraid of is legal harassment in perpetuity, not the truth. Only one side of this ordeal is spending a fortune to hide truth and punish anyone who dares speak up for themselves or other victims.
You willfully signed an NDA. Okay. You claim, oh, I could have helped all these victims. Then you should have signed the NDA and just, bite the bullet. Like, okay. Or you got in a different job in a different area. Because this non-compete only works in media. So you can go on and become a bus driver for 2 years. Okay. Could have done that. Because bus drivers are always hiring. It's not that hard of a job. Or you could have, let's see, what else is an easy job that you could provide for? I'm sure there's other jobs that you could do that you could easily get hired for. It doesn't, like, yeah, you spent all your life in media. That's all you really know. All right, cool. But like, go and find a job that you can do to make you some quick cash, gives you some decent benefits. I have friends that are bus drivers and they get really good benefits. And I've looked and there's plenty of decent benefits around the country for bus drivers. So jobs like that, go do some hard labor, some construction. You don't really need experience to do any of that. You could do that. You could have done that for 2 years and, been, not done any media stuff. You apparently were able to hold on to your Twitter account. So, I mean, there's all that stuff. So you had options, but you wanted to stick with the media stuff. And so you signed an NDA. You claimed you didn't get any money for it. I don't believe you for a second. Because somehow you survived all that without having a media job. Okay. You paid off your employer without having any media job. Okay.
While I will not give in to the harassment by my former employer, I have to recognize that this process has already become unbearably expensive.
Now, you probably shouldn't have put yourself in between Crowder's divorce, because that is apparently what happened.
Not only because of the general expense of the legal process, but because my former employer has seemingly unlimited wealth and resources to gleefully spend punishing powerless people. I tried to handle legal fees on my own these last months, and the fees have already reached the tens of thousands of dollars with no resolution in sight. Unstopped, this type of legal abuse could go on for years and years and quickly escalate into hundreds of thousands.
Now, this is fairly accurate. This is really accurate what he's saying. So we got some truth to what he's saying. Yeah. Well, that's what big companies do. It's very common. No proof that this is what Crowder's doing. He very well could be. Don't get me wrong. He 100% could be. But yeah, no, absolutely. It's silenced by pay. That's what the state does. It's what other people do. It's like I'm trying to get your compliance through mounting a bunch of legal fees. This is very common, and yeah, no, this is believable because it's very true and very common. Doesn't make anything what else he says believable.
Of dollars as I fight to protect myself and my family. I cannot put my wife and my children through this. Not again.
Then why did you butt into a divorce that had nothing to do with you? Because that's apparently what the big issue was. I believe. I haven't watched the video from Gerald, so I don't know. But that's apparently what the issue was.
I cannot be bound to an unconstitutional NDA like this forever. Protecting my family means finding a path that doesn't leave us in financial ruin. And we are simply out of funds, and I have no other option but to ask for help. I'm asking for donations for 2 reasons. Number one, obviously to help with the financial burden I've already accrued with this legal matter right here. That's taking care of. That matter is priority number one as I'm going further and further into debt with each passing day. The second reason I'm asking for financial assistance, is to proactively address my unconstitutional anti-free speech NDA, which is the basis for all of their claims against me. The simplest resolution here would be for my ex-employer to release me from the NDA.
Pay back the money you got, because I know you got money. Okay, your reasoning is complete bullshit to me.
Me and my fellow ex-employees the same free speech they publicly champion for every other American. But I can almost guarantee you that will not happen.
Yeah, why would he?
I've already witnessed them spend unfathomable amounts of money in other cases to protect their double life and secrets. No more darkness. That's why, beyond the current burden I face from my ex-employer's legal abuse, I will be using these donations to fight back and file a counter motion, placing my unconstitutional NDA before a judge to have it dissolved in its entirety. I want my First Amendment rights back.
The funny thing is, you do have your First Amendment rights still. You have an area that you're restricted from talking about, but you still have First Amendment rights.
I want to stop the cycle of abuse, and I want truth to be known.
You probably shouldn't have signed the NDA.
It takes incredible resources I simply don't have. Truthfully, I don't know how much money this will take, probably much more than my current goal is. But every penny I do have left from your donations will go toward helping other ex-employees, dear friends of mine, fight back and escape their identical situations with the same employer. to accept donations, I've set up a GoFundMe. And to make it easy, you can go to freejaredmonroe.com. It will take you there.
I think he's got like 70K donated now.
Please share this message. I know some of you cannot afford to help, but simply retweeting this post helps so much. And for any of you who can help, big or small, public or anonymous, I, my wife, my children, thank you from the bottoms of our hearts. And I do just want to say this. If you too are or have been a victim of such abuse, for whatever it's worth, know that I see you and I hear you, and I encourage you to be courageous. No more darkness.
All right, there we go. That's the end of it. It's look, again, I don't really care about Crowder. I don't really want to defend him at all, period. I just don't care. But all this sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. Okay, that's what it sounds like to me here. Now, later on in the future, could it possibly be that, all this comes out, turns out everything Jared said was true? Absolutely. And if that happens, I will be on here and saying, if I'm still doing a stream at that point, I'll be like, I was wrong. I was incorrect in my association, in my my views. I apologize. That's if I even remember this whole thing, because honestly, I don't care. But yeah, so that's this. Like it could all of this actually be true? Absolutely. Could 100% be true. I don't believe it though. Sorry. I just don't. Okay? It's not believable to me. I don't believe you, Jared. Sorry. I'm gonna need to see some receipts. Okay. You say you have the receipts. Okay. But you can't because of the scary NDA that you willfully signed on it. And you claimed, oh, I only signed it because, they were going to not do a non-compete, but then they ended up screwing me over anyways. Well, then you should have probably gotten some money out of it. But I don't believe that you didn't get any money out of the deal, because you're retarded if you do. And again, you have various other jobs that you could do for 2 years and not, so that you could comply with this so-called non-compete. And you probably could, no, it's just like, it doesn't jive with me. Okay. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. All right. I don't believe Jared Monroe. Sorry. It is what it is. What can you do? What would you do for a Klondike bar? But I just don't believe it. All right. And, maybe I'm just biased. I don't think so, because I really don't care. Like if Crowder, if it turns out Crowder is, everything Jared said is true, and Crowder gets, loses all his millions, his Louder with Crowder ends and everything, it doesn't affect me, and I don't care. Like, cool, bye. None of it. It's like, all right, cool, no big deal. Like, sucks to be you. Ha ha ha. Like that's my feelings on the matter. But at this point, I don't believe it. Okay. There's nothing compelling me to, like, I believe everything you're saying, Jared. Nothing like that. And I think a majority of people that listen to this and believe it, I think a majority just don't like Crowder. And anything that's negative to Crowder, they're all for. And that's the problem with this country, is we have it, it's always, it's always this, we hear something we don't like about someone we don't like, and therefore it must be true. So we're going to definitely fall behind it. That's what it is. No big deal. It is what it is. So, all right, moving on. So that happened. I think it was Thursday that happened. And then the next day, Friday, I believe it was Friday. No, March 27th. March 27th was a Wednesday. So that happened Tuesday. On Wednesday of last week, the Crowder's crew came out with this, and it was just Gerald. Just Gerald, sorry. And he came out. It wasn't Crowder who came out, and that might be due to his, the NDA. He's unable to talk about it. I don't know. Maybe Crowder thought it'd be bad form for him to be talking about it. So he had his the person that wasn't involved at all talk about it. Might be a strategic move, but so we had Gerald talking about it. So here we go. So let's listen to Gerald.
Morning. I had been scheduled to host the show today for about a week, and the topics that we were going to discuss were what you would expect in any Louder with Crowder show. Talking about some news, make some jokes, maybe poorly. But unfortunately, that's no longer the case today. Well before any video that was released, we were going to do this show this way. I'll get to why Steven's not here in just a minute, but it was planned from a week ago,
So you
not from
claim.
yesterday.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I think regardless if it was planned or not for Gerald to host the show, Gerald would still have hosted the show. I think that's my opinion. So, I don't think it really matters. I think regardless, Gerald was going to host the show. Because, it wouldn't look good if Crowder comes out and starts attacking his former employee that says all these negative things about him. It wouldn't look good. Okay? So you had Gerald, who, although is part of the company, but wasn't involved in all this mess, because I don't think he was on the show when Jared was. I could be wrong, but I don't think he was. And if he was, he was a very minor character. So, the taint's not really on him.
I just want to say off the top that none of this had to happen. None of it. Didn't have to be this way at all. We didn't choose this. It was chosen for us. In fact, as I'll tell you in just a few minutes, we went to great lengths to give people the ability to do the right thing, to honor their agreements, and to do what they said they were going to do. Unfortunately, they chose a different path. For the last year and a half, everything you've seen in the public eye has been part of a well-orchestrated plan. What is that plan? To assimilate damaging PR assets and wage a negative publicity campaign against Steven. I'll show you the quotes. I'll show you the text messages. I'll show you everything. All of the stuff that we did not talk about because we were giving people the opportunity to do the right thing. Taking the hits, taking the hit pieces, dealing with all of it.
This is actually fairly true. I don't think Louder, Crowder, Jared, or Gerald, or Crowder, anyone, they haven't really said anything. They get get these attacks. They don't really respond to it. So this is fairly true. They don't really respond to any of this. Cool. All right. Now that could be some evil scheme where they don't respond because they go behind back doors and do it that way. Very well might be the thing. But we're looking at this and you don't really have any caring for it. What you got some truth to what Gerald is saying.
To give people the opportunity to do the right thing. They chose not to. I wonder why Jared decided to release his video yesterday.
Oh, no, I got it. I'll tell you why, Gerald. Make me relevant again. That's what it was. That's all this was, is make me relevant again. Yeah, it's, he's got some legal issues he's apparently dealing with, apparently. But the main thing is, even if he wasn't having legal troubles, he'd be talking about this. And it's a make me relevant. I need money. I want to, increase my following, make me relevant.
Just for some backstory, there had been no communication between our attorneys for a couple of weeks. So there was no impetus for it. The document compelling him to give a deposition had already expired on March 15th. So when he released his video yesterday.
All right, I'm fair here. Where's the proof, Gerald? Let me see the receipt. Where's the proof?
Today, he asked you to contribute money for a lawsuit that did not exist, unless he's had a lawsuit that he would like to file, which he indicated maybe that was the case. We had not sued Jared. We simply asked Jared to knock it off. I'll get into the timeline of that. But Tuesday, March 26th was the day that he chose to release his video. I wonder if it had anything to do with Wednesday, March 27th being the 5th day of mediation between Steven and Hillary. Why release it the day before mediation? Mediation is a great opportunity for people to come together and resolve their differences peacefully. This is the 5th day. If you want to do some research on how many days it normally goes on during divorces, you can. It's not 5. Here's the timeline. On October 27th, 2023, we filed our original Rule 202 petition that Jared mentioned. A Rule 202 petition is basically saying, hey, we're serious. Please knock it off and tell us how far this went. On October 30th, we sent a cease and desist. At that time, October 30th, 2023, all Jared had to do was respond in writing saying that he was going to knock off what he was doing. He was going to stop violating his agreement that he voluntarily entered into. He chose not to. Legal fees associated with writing us a letter would have been minimal, if any at all. And I have the receipts as to why we sent this to him in the first place.
All right, let's see the receipts, Gerald. See, it was funny too because people were giving Pearl crap for mixing up the two. She's, she did a video like watching this or something, and she put it as a Gerald or Jared speaks out, and people are, oh, you're saying Gerald. They're basically the same fucking name. All right, Gerald, Jared, same name. Okay, so stop giving Pearl shit about it. It's funny as hell. Well, let me rephrase it. No, continue giving Pearl shit about it, but come on, it's a very easy mistake. I've done it like 1,000 times already.
After around 6 years of no communication in this way. December 14th, we had one amendment to our Rule 202 petition. Not quite the exhausting of the court as Jared made it seem, that we were trying to bully him with the law. March 15th, that 202 expired. March 26th, Jared releases his video.
So apparently they had their deposition, but they were given their deposition, but they never took it. Apparently, that's what, according to him, which kind of be very telling. It could be just, we got this. We can get it again, but we're giving you this out to like we can make you do this. We can make you give a deposition, but we're not going to. This is another warning. It could be that, or they're just dumb and didn't get it.
Jared, like I said, was raising money for a lawsuit that didn't even exist until this morning. It now exists because Jared has shown that he will continue to violate his NDA to be a part of this scheme to assimilate damaging PR assets to put pressure on Stephen in the divorce. I'll show you all the receipts, guys. It's there. He's actively flirted with violations in the past. And now he's involving himself in a private divorce for which he was recruited to leverage the company as part of this long-standing plan. And I'm going to say it over and over again to make sure you guys understand. We've been living with this for the last year and a half. The plan is to assimilate damaging PR assets and wage a negative publicity campaign against Stephen. Per Hillary's father. Here come the receipts. I hate being in this position, guys. It gives me no pleasure to go down this road. I am being forced to go down this road by their actions to defend this company, to defend the over 30 employees that work for this company. I am not a guy that picks a fight. But if you tell me by your actions, by ignoring easy off-ramps, easy opportunities to do the right thing, that you are not going to stop coming after me and coming after this company and coming after the employees that work here and that put blood, sweat, and tears into this business. If you tell me my choice is to fight you or let them be.
Oh, this is over the top. Look, they've both done this. They're doing this over top crap. It's just, let's get to the point of the matter. Let's stop the drama. Gerald's participating in the drama right now. So it's like, let's finish this already. Okay. Shut up. Just let's get to it. Now, this is only 30 minutes. So 34 minutes. So I don't know if they end up cutting to Mud Club because they do that. They'll do the show and they'll cut to Mud Club, which looks. I'm not part of Mud Club, So at 30 minutes, if there's still something going, I may have to either spend money to go to the med club or we'll just end it there. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Depends on how compelling I feel at the end. And that's if they cut the mud club. They might just we'll just do this free. Boom, deal with it. I don't know.
Taken out, I am absolutely going to step up and fight for them. Every time. We tried to do this the right way. It's frustrating for me. But you need to know the truth. And that's what's coming out today. All of this information's publicly available. Court documents, not opinion. Not saying I have receipts and not providing them.
I mean, it's kind of the point I just fucking made. I have receipts, but I'm not providing them. Now, I do love this. Like, there's court documents, blah, blah, blah. They never really give you, like, the link or anything. I wonder, let's see. Do they have the link? Yeah, there's no link to the court documents or anything like that, which would be very helpful, honestly. So, oh, son of a bitch. What the hell? Oh, okay. So that would be very helpful, but they don't. It is what it is. So I hate that. It's like, oh, there's public available court documents. Okay. Yeah. Well, guess what? Most people don't know how to research that stuff. So why don't you send us a link?
I'm providing them for you right now. By the way, this is the court filing for Jared. We'll be releasing that so everybody can have access to it.
Oh, shit.
Of course, taking steps to redact personal information because we would never want to dox anyone. Here is Hillary's father in a group text thread to the family. And it's a message that was liked by Hillary. The type of team I want. They understand right-wing media. They are familiar with who Stephen is and that world and the things that would destabilize him. Remember that word, destabilize. Fully understand and agree that Hillary's goals and expectations for the outcome of this divorce are reasonable and attainable. Not necessarily according to Texas family law precedent, but by employing a media/Brian Friedman and PR strategy that will significantly threaten this public persona and brand. That's
That was
from
2022.
Yes. This has been the plan from the beginning, guys. This is what we have been dealing with behind the scenes and not commenting on.
Again, this is the kernel of truth from them. At least, it's what, they haven't commented on any of this. You haven't heard shit about Crowder's and his wife's divorce since the video was posted. Really, we haven't really heard anything. Most would probably have forgotten that Crowder is getting divorced. Most have probably thought, oh, Crowder's divorced and all done. Okay, we don't know. Like, that's how little they've actually commented on this. So, again, there's some truth there. All right.
We'll get to Brian Friedman here in just a second, but this is where Jared gets involved. After 6 years of no communication, Jared gets roped into Hillary's plan, gets involved in this plan. February 17th of 2023, and just leave that overlay up for me. Hillary and Jared met in Atlanta to discuss their strategy, and they took this picture. How He Changed My Mind. I guess a proposed book that Hillary would like to write to apply more pressure to Stephen.
Now, here's how little I know about this whole thing. I don't even know which one is his wife. Clearly not the dude. But I don't know which of these broads is Crowder's wife. I really don't. I really have no care. I've never known who Hillary was. So it's interesting. Like, I think it's the blonde. I really don't know. I honestly have no fucking clue. So I assume it's the blonde. Just based on how he changed his mind, we're being right in front of her. So I don't know. Is that Jared right there? Because I don't think it is. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. So I have no idea. I guess that's apparently Jared. Kind of looks different without glasses. So I don't know.
February 20th, per Jared's text messages, any scenario where Hillary and I team up is the end of him, meaning Stephen. It is his worst nightmare. Watch the real fear enter his eye when Tim asks the question. All been going on behind the scenes. Can you believe the actions of people that are out in public saying they're trying to do the right thing and yet behind the scenes scheming?
Now, to be fair, Jared, he hasn't really commented on this, but again, could be their could have been part of their strategy, but they also haven't really been commenting or showing any of this. So, just to be fair to, no one's really commenting on this. But when you have these receipts, kind of seems kind of scummy. Okay. Kind of seems kind of scummy. And, and then there's the claim is always going to be, well, I'm under an NDA, so I can't comment on it. But you're able to make all these claims and claim you have receipts and everything, but you're unable to comment about the schemes that you're doing. Okay.
To pressure Stephen with a negative PR campaign. It's going to be worse in just a minute, guys. Unfortunately, this isn't a fun day, but it's a day that has to happen where people need to know what's really going on. February 21st, 2023, Jared says this to Hillary. I think there's a scenario where several of us would be willing to attest to all of that. I just don't want him anywhere near those kids. That really, really disturbs me. Why do this? This was done specifically in order to get more than Hillary would get in court, or that Stephen even offered her, because his offers have been more generous than Hillary would ever get in court per Hillary. From a text exchange between Hillary and her mother. Again, all public information, guys. This is a part of court filings.
Let's see. It says the financial offer was serious. The business valued, sir, and both of my attorneys agreed that the financial offer was good. $5 million. But when it comes, I assume, to the children, his offer was I get all of June, some of July, 2 weeks in August, and a week in the fall up north. And while that's better than what I would get in court, I want more freedom than that. Now, there was, there are claims like, oh, if she's all about the money, okay, if she's all about the money, then why didn't she take this offer? That's a good point, guys. Except if she's somehow able to show the court that he's an evil abuser, that he's a terrible human being, that he's dangerous to his children, she could get primary custody, okay, and she could get an increase or a higher, because courts always give women an extremely high extremely high custody child support, so that she could still get plenty of child support, an extremely high amount of child support, okay, and alimony, and probably a bunch of other shit, if she's able to prove or show a compelling, or sorry, not even prove, provide a preponderance of the evidence, 51%, that this guy is an abuser, terrible human being. She's able to prove that. She can get primary, get custody of the children, full custody, probably wouldn't be able to see his children at all, and then get a substantial amount of money on top of that. So, so yeah, $5 million is generous, but that's a flat payment. She could get a constant amount of money for, 18 years.
Not us pulling anything, not us opining. The financial offer was serious, and the business valuator and both of my attorneys agreed the financial offer was good. And while that's better than I would get in court, I want more freedom than that, referring to as well custody of the children. Remember that the financial offer was serious, and the business valuator and both of my attorneys agreed the financial offer was good. Offer was rejected. Why? Let's go back to the plan. To assimilate damaging PR assets and wage a negative publicity campaign against Stephen. And then, after doing that, they could make it all go away for Stephen. Per Hillary's father to Hillary and other family members in a group text.
So apparently I was wrong, and this is Hillary and her family. So never mind.
The longer the divorce proceedings go on, the worse the outcome for SC, Stephen Crowder. Developing damaging PR assets should be pursued. That deliverable is up to us, not the legal team. I wonder why. And at the right time, Mark Scroggins, the first of 3 attorneys, will show SC the path to make it all go away. Do you understand what they're saying there, guys? We're going to wage a campaign against Stephen.
Yeah, basically, we're gonna wage a campaign against Stephen. All right, we're going to, make this drawn out so much, and do so much damage to his reputation, his company, etc. And then at the end of all of that, after we cause so much damage, we're going to give him an out. Okay, we're going to give him an out. All right, this is how much you're going to have to pay. And then, after you've been, severely damaged reputationally and all that stuff, and the financial aspect of it all, you're going to, all the finance, you're going to have to pay for your lawyer and everything like that, or lawyers and stuff. You're going to have to pay the lawyer fees for her. And then you're going to have to, this is the money. So that's what it basically is. We're going to draw this out as long as possible. And then, we're going to draw this out as long as possible, and then we're going to give you an out.
Not to tell the truth about Stephen, but to misrepresent things that are going on so that we can put pressure on him. Doesn't matter if these things are true or not. People are going to run with it because, hey, Steven Crowder tells some jokes sometimes that offend people. So they're going to run with it, and they're going to put pieces out in the newspaper. And then when the pressure is so much, when we have wrecked his life enough, at the right time, and I quote, bring it back up, at the right time, Mark, referring to Hillary's first divorce attorney, will show SC the path to make it all go away. They both want money, maybe fame. They don't care if it's at the expense or well-being of the children or the family, or if they do, they're hiding that fact very well. And look, based on what we've discussed, they don't believe that Mug Club should even exist because it should all belong to them. Having an undercover unit? No, that money belongs to Hillary. Going out and getting these documents released so you guys could know what's going on about the Nashville manifesto, about the Chippewa Falls stuff that we've revealed and the other stories that we are working on right now? No, it belongs to them. Being able to bring in additional people to carry the load here? No, belongs to them. This is the through line with every single point. And this is something new. Not new to us, but new to you. And I want to tell you this from the perspective of somebody who hates to have to do this. I do not in any way want to be in the position that I am in right now, having to react to people's bad decisions, but I don't have any other choice because it has been made clear by their actions over the last year and a half plus that there is no other way to say, guys, stop what you're doing. You have to quit. You have to do the right thing. You have to honor your agreements. Hillary is not doing that. And so this company is suing Hillary for extortion against us. We filed a lawsuit against Hillary, her family, and media reps for tortious interference and their extortion conspiracy scheme, which I will lay out in detail. I take no pleasure in that. I wish everybody would go and just do the right thing and we could all get on with our lives. And you can tune into this show and see updates about news, comedy, everything that you love about this show, additional content from great people that you love to hear from. But unfortunately, I can't do that today. I hope we can get back to doing that very soon. In fact, we will tomorrow. But I hope we never have to address this kind of stuff again. I hope people understand that we're serious. We will defend the people that are here in this company. Let's talk about some things that you know and maybe some things that you don't know. So, one of the things you know, the ring footage, right? Everybody remembers that?
Oh, yeah.
I just showed it.
My machine just froze.
Going out at all or no?
We're still going out.
All right.
It's just stuck
Okay.
on your camera.
Stuck on
right
me.
now.
You know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
That's where we need to be right now.
Yeah.
Just going to talk you guys through this. Here's what you know. Ring footage that was sent out that tried to portray Stephen in a very negative light, having an argument with his wife. Stephen admitted he's not a perfect guy. There are definitely faults. Arguments happen. People always say stuff that they wish they could either take back or was taken out of.
I highly recommend for anyone that you go to Fresh and Fit and watches Myron's examination of the ring footage. Again, it's a year, so you're gonna have to wade through a lot of crap. Not crap, but you're gonna have to wade through a lot of videos to get to it. But it's really, really good. It was really, really good. And he points out some stuff that is very, telling. So
Out of context in arguments. But here's what you don't know. Hillary deleted all of the other footage from that house on the ring cameras and the lake residence when a court expressly barred her from doing so.
that doesn't look good for her. Like, I mean, come on. So she deleted all this footage except the ring one. Like, come on. Like, what is this?
How many hours? Over 2,000 hours. Also, 8,000 hours never even handed over, along with 18 seconds from the doctored video itself.
Oh, yeah. See, I told you there was jump cuts. If you look, if you watch, there's jump cuts.
A note, Substack video had small portions that were not even included in the court-issued videos, which means that it came from some other source. You can do the math. This was all a part of the plan that we talked about. To assemble negative PR assets to wage a PR campaign against Stephen, to get him to give more, never enough, more. That's right. All the other ring footage from multiple cameras in multiple residences has either been actively destroyed or never even handed over in the first place. Here's another thing you know. There are family claims about hardships. I will make all of this stuff available on our website. I'll make sure you guys have full access to all of this. It's not us. This is court documents. This is stuff that has been filed. Claim hardships. Here's what you don't know. Hillary's getting $25,000 per month from Stephen. Per month. $300,000 a year, no taxes held out of it. In Texas, all divorce-related attorneys' fees are paid by the estate. Stephen's the only one actively contributing to the estate right now, so you can do the math there. This is the first time that we know a dime has been spent from Hillary on a lawsuit that isn't coming from the estate, also known as Stephen. I don't like that, but I don't have any other options. Here's something else you don't know. Hillary hired entertainment superstar lawyer Brian Friedman as part of her PR attack against Stephen. I don't know if you guys remember who Brian Friedman is, but he represented Trevor Bauer's false accuser, releasing images that were doctored. What he knew at the time, what he didn't know, still up for a little bit of debate, but it looks like there was some reason to believe maybe this claim wasn't 100% on the up and up. Trevor's been exonerated. It's been proven that this person lied about all of this. Maybe she even lied to Friedman. Who knows? But Friedman was all too willing to rush out and ruin a man's career that I believe had just signed a $100 million contract to play baseball and subsequently lost that.
I just want to be clear. I just looked on their website. There's nothing about this show in particular. So, yeah. Maybe they forgot.
Contract. Still trying to get back into the major leagues, even though he's a well accomplished.
I by the way, I covered this Trevor Bauer thing. Yeah, so it got proven that the chick intentionally lied and intentionally went after him to try and get him extort a bunch of money from him. It was proven, like it was literally proven. They settled, and his settlement, he didn't ask for any money or anything. His settlement was he would be able to release all this stuff. So he was that baseball player. He's playing in Japan right now. I covered this, so if you guys want to, go back and watch. I can't remember when I covered this, but I covered it.
Pitcher should be on a roster somewhere. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that he was proven right. It just matters that the lie was put out there and that the campaign was waged against him. That's
another thing. Is these women the lie and deceive, and all of a sudden, the lie, and then when the truth comes out, nothing ever happens. Okay, when the truth comes out, nothing happens. The guy doesn't get his reputation back. He doesn't get his job back or anything like that. He doesn't get a scholarship back if he was in school or anything. Nothing happens. Okay, there's no retribution for the guy, and there's no punishment for the woman who's a liar. And that's a big problem we have now. And that's why we have such a high degree of one, false allegations, and two, people not believing any allegations anymore. You're seeing this more and more. There's a lot of skepticism. Woman comes out, there's a lot more people now that are like, I don't believe this shit. And that's me. I used to believe anytime a woman came out and said, this happened, I'd believe her instantly. It's like, who would lie about this? But then more and more, you had Mattress Girl, you had, what was it, Duke Lacrosse, et cetera. It's more and more and more. You had Christina Blazing Ford, whatever her fucking name, come out. Tara Reid came out. That was Biden's accuser. I don't remember hers. I'm pretty sure I just ended up just disbelieving instantly just due to the nature of it. But so on, go on and on and on and on and on and on. And there's never any consequences for those women. So until we start doing that, we're gonna continue this trend where people aren't believing these women, and that's really sad for them.
And Friedman represented the same journalist who leaked the Ring video. Here's something else media hit pieces. We all saw that, right, Tim? Hit pieces coming out against us last year. Seemed like
Lots of them, yeah.
seemed like they were planned and orchestrated.
Yeah, they were
Come
one
out.
after the other.
One of the claims was that Stephen had revealed his genitalia to people in the office. We talked about that. We addressed all of that.
I guess
Here's what
they didn't see our Terminator 2.
Terminator 2 sketch,
yeah.
or when you have to wear, like really thin garments so that you can be painted gold,
Yeah.
right? For some of the sketches that we've done. Here's what you don't know. Jared exposed his penis in professional settings to Stephen. When they were at Wham Radio, he would expose himself in a way that only Stephen could see. And then for an hour, Stephen would have to sit there talking to people at the radio station about the business dealings of the show and not break. And to them, it was funny then and funny now.
That is pretty fucking funny, honestly. That's pretty funny. You just have some dude naked just standing there in front of you, and you're trying to talk business dealings with your people, and you're just trying not to freaking laugh. And that's pretty fucking hilarious, honestly. And that's typical guy shit. All right, let's be honest. That's guy shit. We're gonna fuck with you, okay, immensely. If we're your buddies, we're gonna fuck with you. If we know it's just so common. It's like, we're just gonna fuck with you. So yeah, he's gonna stand there naked, exposing himself, and just like do suggestive posing and shit, and just to try and make the other guy laugh while he's trying to do a professional thing. Like that's common. Come on, that's common, and it's still pretty fucking funny. Even if you don't like Jared, you don't like Steven, it's pretty fucking funny.
We're not calling him out for it. We're just saying it seems a bit odd that he was somebody who participated, maybe even started doing it, and then apparently cried foul.
Jared is the
about it.
trendsetter. You heard.
Here's some other key facts that I want to bring up. And tell me, do you think these facts seem destabilizing to you? And just first off, just think about that. We want to do things that will destabilize him. We want to put enough pressure on him that he will give us everything that we ask for, and then Mark Scroggins can come in. Their text message guys can come in and show Stephen how to make it all go away. It's exactly what was in the text message. Let's start with Joe Lewis, Stephen's dog. Hillary tried to have Joe Lewis removed from him. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Falsely claimed that Joe was dangerous, citing the previous owner. The previous owner.
That's really scummy. That's really scummy. You're taking a man's dog. That's really, really scummy of her. That's someone's dog. Like, look, any person that has a dog, you understand how scummy this is. You really do. Like, oh, man. I'm fucking irritated as hell.
Let me just say this. That happened while I was in Stephen's office. He got a note saying from Hillary that Joe Louis was dangerous and needed to be removed from the presence of the children. He almost started crying.
Now, to be fair, this could be complete and utter bullshit, and just one of those statements to serve, to point out. But it also could very well be true. And again, I want to reiterate this: everything Jared said could be true as well. I'm not like trying to take a side here, except only one person has brought receipts so far. Just saying. And yeah, Hillary's already scummy. Like, you want to take a man's dog. If you wanted to say, hey, you can't have your dog around the children, that may be one thing. But to try and get him removed completely is just completely scummy. And there's no unless you have any evidence of the dog hurting the kids, and I mean like actively, like my dogs, they don't hurt our kids, but they've gotten a little rough and gotten a little excited and stuff, accidental things. So it's not, there's a difference. There's a difference of them intentionally going after the kids and them, getting played with, and then things getting a little rough, and then to react or anything like that. There's a big difference between the two. So, and again, this could all be true. This, like, what everything Gerald is saying could be true. It also could be completely a lie. But I think this is one of those self-serving things. Like, oh, you almost cried. He was very emotional about it, which very well could be true. Very well could be a lie. But it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, this isn't necessary. He almost cried. All you needed was she tried to get his dog taken away from him. That's all you really needed.
She was trying to remove everything from his life to put pressure on him to get more than she would get in court. Thankfully, Stephen was able to contact the previous owner, who signed an affidavit stating that it was not only false, but the exact opposite of what was true in that situation. She also tried to get me to abandon Stephen when she filed for divorce. You heard me correctly. Gerald needs to leave Stephen. I haven't talked to anybody else about that in any detail. As all of this is going on, and this is not part of what I planned on talking about today, guys, but I need you to understand the level of, I don't even know the right word to say, but the crap that we are having to deal with is probably the most polite thing that I can come up with.
The shit.
Can you believe the things that you're hearing? Gerald, in Stephen's moment where he needs his best or one of his best friends to be by his side, Gerald, leave him. There's a campaign to apply pressure. That part, I'm assuming now that I know that was part of the plan. At the time, it was just Gerald, leave him. Unfortunately, Jared echoed those same comments on one of the most difficult days of Stephen's life, after not really hearing from Jared for a while. I don't remember exactly how long it was. It could have been years. I don't know. I can look back. Leave him. Abandon your friend when he's in need. Whenever.
Where's your receipts? Dude, I'm just trying to be fair. Where are your receipts of this?
Everybody agreed that it would be great if Gerald could help with Stephen and help advocate for Stephen and be a sounding board for what's going on in life, to be able to talk to him as I had been doing for many years prior to ever being paid anything to do anything with Stephen. I was his friend before. Guess what? I'll be his friend after, if there is an after. He can stop paying me today and it won't change the facts that I have laid out here. And I know exactly what's going to happen. You guys are going to come after me. It's fine. I can handle it. But you're not going to address what I've said that's factually true in court documents publicly available.
I think it's fairly true from the comments I've seen. I don't think anyone's actually addressed what he said factually. They complained that he didn't address the NDA, but here's the thing about NDAs. He could also be hampered by the NDA preventing him from talking about the NDA. But we'll see if he ever mentions it.
because you can't. It's so clear. Tried to take his dog away to destabilize him as part of the plan. Tried to take me away.
Yeah, so this is the plan. He's trying to isolate him. You isolate him, he ends up being depressed. He ends up being alone. He ends up just looking for any way to stop to make it stop. Because if you have a support system surrounding you, like Hillary does with her family, then you're able to push on and keep going. You don't have a support system. It's very, very hard to keep going when there's nothing you can when you got no one to back you up. So it's a very clever tactic on her part.
I now know that was part of the plan to destabilize him. Then got it echoed by Jared that I should leave him in his darkest potentially hour, when he's fighting for his name, for his reputation, and for his life. Here's another thing that you may not know. The address where the children slept part of the time was intentionally doxed. Hillary sent the private and unlisted residential address to Jared. You know how I know it was private and unlisted? Because I was in charge of making sure it was so. Do you know why? To make sure that the kids were safe. Not everybody likes Stephen. Some for very good reason. Residential address to Jared. You know how I know it was private and
Let's see. I want to he actually lives at blank, so please leave this house alone. He doesn't live. Ha ha ha. What? Okay. I want to blank them that he actually lives at blank. So please leave this house alone. He doesn't live here. Ha ha ha. Okay. I'm not really sure. Very confused. Okay.
unlisted because I was in charge of making sure it was so. Do you know why? To make sure that the kids were safe. Not everybody likes Stephen. Some for very good reason. He comes off and he says a joke. Fine. You don't like that? Fine. If you want to use it, great reason. You don't like somebody because of a joke. But a lot of people don't like him because he pushes back on evil. And there are a lot of groups out there that don't like to be called out. And they don't like Stephen, and maybe they would try to do him harm. And so to make sure that his family is protected, he goes through great lengths to make sure nobody knows where he lives. Hillary intentionally doxed it. I won't use the exact words. You can see it in the image. But it's evil. Shortly after Jared received Stephen's personal address from Hillary, Stephen received a threatening message. Package came from Smyrna, Georgia. Didn't say who it was from, but we later found out that that is mere miles from where Jared lives. Again, Jared's probably going to say, oh, come on, it was a joke. Okay.
No, odds are he's going to say that wasn't me, or it's a lie. So that's what he's actually going to say.
It's an unlisted address. Nobody knows where he lives. You didn't say who it was from. You just said, watch it, effing watch it on there. I know where that came from.
That's from The Ring.
The edited video. I get it. The additional context that I'm not even going into today about what happened in that, but I probably will at some point to give you a little bit more insight.
Do it now. Let me hear the context of this whole shit.
Not even close to what you think it means. Hillary admitted it. Have it on tape. Part of public filings. Stephen receives a package at an address that no one is supposed to have. And then
that too is extremely scummy. It's very, very scummy. And it's funny because none of the comments addressed this. Like I said, I haven't watched this. I didn't know about any of this. But the comments I've read don't mention any of this shit. No one mentions this shit. This is very scummy behavior. Now, I am very protective of my family. If I start blowing up big, okay, odds are I will try and get an unlisted address. Okay. Now, you can still find a person's address, even if it's unlisted and everything. There are ways, okay? But it takes a bit. All right. It takes a lot of work. Primarily you need to know where the person fucking lives. Now, Stephen obviously lives in Texas. All right. So there you go. So he lives in Texas. Boom. So you got that there. And because there's nothing really private about anything. Like your address is actually fairly public regardless of what you do. Because you got to get gas, you got to get power, you got to get water, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Even if you don't have all these, you get mail. There's nothing actually private because for you to actually have a claim of complete privacy, you cannot have any anyone, not even the government, know that address. But you have to have the government to have an address, basically. Like, if that makes any sense. You got to file stuff with the government. When you buy the land, all the taxes you got to pay and shit like that. There's all that stuff that you have to do to live somewhere. It's required. So you don't really have a price. Now there's steps you can make it to make it harder to find, unlisted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just very convenient where she tells him the address, and then all of a sudden he gets a package in the mail at his unlisted address from an area that Jared lives close by. That's very convenient. Now again, that's just going off of what they say. Show us the receipts. Show us the postage. Okay? Because all you're claiming now, although I haven't seen Jared deny it, but that doesn't mean anything. Because all we got now is at this point a claim. We got to have a postage. Show us the postage, Gerald.
Wonders, are my children safe? Am I safe? Who leaked this address? How did this get out? How would you feel if the person that you had children with leaked your private home address, knowing that the kids would be there during certain times of the week? It's something that I can't even comprehend. Something so reckless. I want to say a couple of things as I wrap this up.
Okay, so he's not going to Mud Club.
NDAs are a normal part of doing business. You sign an NDA voluntarily. Jared signed his voluntarily, and then he breached it. Didn't have to sign it. Could have left. Could have just left. Could have walked away. Didn't have to sign the exit. He signs it on the way in. Again, didn't have to sign that either. Never. He voluntarily signed an agreement and then decided to break it. He also lied to you guys and said that I was asking for every single conversation with his friends and that I was telling him that he couldn't contact his friends. No, that's not true. Look at the Form 202 petition that we put out there. I told Jared in that petition, basically like, hey, you have to stop talking about the company, the agreement that you made with us. And that can be as simple, like I said earlier, as making sure no address is divulged to where somebody sleeps with their young children. It's common. I'm not restricting your speech, Jared. I simply asked you to honor your agreement that you voluntarily entered into. And you had every opportunity to do the right thing before being sued today. We'll get the lawsuit to you, I promise. And I hate it, man. From the very beginning, I talked to the lawyers about making sure that this cost you as little as possible. You don't know that because you never reached out to me. You just assumed the worst. Assumed that I was bought and paid for by Steven. I'm bought and paid for by no one. Again, Steven's friend before this job, Steven's friend after this job. I didn't want this to cost you money. I didn't want this to go out and be public for everybody. I did want you to honor your agreement and knock it off. When you refused, I needed to know how far this went. That was it. It would have been the end of it. After 2 hearings that maybe lasted about an hour each, and very minimal work, and a deposition deadline that had expired, you decided to come out and say that we had sued you, which we hadn't. That video makes it very clear that the only way that we can get to a place of understanding of what your agreement was and that you should honor it is for me to have to sue you. I did not want it to be this way. I take no pleasure in it. No matter what the outcome, I take no pleasure in it. I just want to protect this company and the people that work here. One thing you also need to know, guys, Hillary is behind this entire plan
Of course she is.
to assimilate the damaging PR assets and wage a negative publicity campaign against Steve. And I'll say it again. That is the plan. And maybe it's because she's taking bad advice. I don't know.
No, it's because she's greedy. She had a bit of FOMO. She realized, oh, I can get a shit ton from this guy. I'm going to. She's not getting bad advice. This is probably more than likely her plan. I want everything from Steven. Like, come on. He's being polite here.
All I know is that the actions have been consistent in rejecting very generous offers. More money than Steven's ever made in his entire life has been offered. No, more. Every time. Every single time. I want to just reiterate all of these lawsuits, all of it. I hate it. I hate every single second of it. It does not give me pleasure. I've said it hopefully enough times for you to understand that I don't like doing this. But if it comes down to defending the company and the employees who pour so much of their lives into it, or staying silent while people repeatedly attack us and violate their agreements with us, then you better believe that I am going to fight like hell to defend this company and to defend our ability to communicate with you and to defend Steven, as imperfect as he is. We are all imperfect. It didn't have to be this way. There's still time to do the right thing. But I guarantee you what's going to happen again. They're going to attack me and not talk about the facts. They're going to continue to try and wage this campaign against Steven. Jared, you left in August of 2018. We said nothing about you. Move on with your life, man. What in the world?
That's also very true, too. They haven't said anything. They haven't really talked about Jared since he left. Now, again, it could be true that they're behind the scenes manipulating, going, whoa. It could also be true they haven't done anything, and he's upset because he, he left Crowder just when it got big.
Are you doing?
Or he doesn't like Crowder. He's angry. I don't know.
I don't want this line to keep going, but this lawsuit is the only way I feel like we can get any kind of understanding. I'm sorry that it had to happen this way, but it wasn't something that I chose. And look, I'm sorry for all of you who have to hear this drama. We're not pleased in any way to be a part of drama. Sometimes it happens and we have to defend ourselves, and we don't shy away from that, even though it's drama. Nobody likes it when conservatives are fighting one another. Nobody likes it when people are attacking.
That's a lie. Leftists like it. And let's be honest, conservatives like it too, because we like drama. We're human beings. We enjoy drama. Drama is fun. Okay. So that's incorrect, Jared. Sorry, Gerald. See, I still fucked up. All right.
And it's just like a terrible episode of network TV. I hate it too. We want to get back to doing the content that you like, and we will. I appreciate a lot of you standing up and saying, hey, I know these guys. There's got to be more to the story. I hope today you found out there is a lot more to this story. A whole lot more. There's been a campaign going on for the last year and a half plus where Hillary has been roping people in, people that she hadn't talked to in years and hadn't even really been friends with, to try and damage Steven Crowder and get more than a court would allow. It's time for that to stop. Today has to be the day that starts to change. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be doing the show.
All right. So that's the end of it. So there we go. We're done. We're done with the drama. Drama's over with. All right. So what do you guys think? All right. Do you believe Jared? Do you believe Gerald? Do you believe that they are the same person as I believe? All right. So look, again, the biggest difference between Gerald and Jared and all that is there's, you can see it. There's some actual proof to what he's saying. He is providing said proof with what he's saying. So, There's document, all that stuff. Now, he said he provides sources and all that shit. Didn't really end up happening. I don't know what happened there, but that's very common. I see him say, we'll provide sources. Then you look, there's no fucking sources. So, I don't know. I it's irritating when people say we have the document. We'll just put up a link. Put a link to all your documents and show it. Simple as that. Because if they can find it publicly, you can easily share it. Just be like, boom, here it is. Check it out. It's up to you if you believe us or not. I don't care. You can do that. Anyways. Let's see, what else am I gonna say? But yeah, so here we go. So what do you think? Do you believe? Who do you believe? Do you believe either of them? Do you not give a shit? I don't care at all, honestly. It really doesn't, there's no skin off my bones if anyone's lying. But again, I will say this: I am primarily believing Crowder at this point, mainly because there's the proof. There's the proof, and that's all you can really say is where's the proof? And unfortunately, it seems like there's more proof on Steven's side than there is on Jared's side. Goddamn. See, I keep fucking doing it. And it is what it is. And there's not much you can really do about it. Except provide your own proof. But, claims that, you can't provide proof for whatever fucking reason. But yeah, I just don't believe Jared's side at all. Maybe that's just my bias showing. I don't think so, because I really don't care about Crowder. I stopped really after, like I said, after Dave Lando. That whole thing just left a bad taste in my mouth. It really bothered me that he did that to Dave Lando. It really bothered me a lot. But here we go. And we'll see if there's any other news eventually of this coming out. I suspect we'll get another year of nothing, and then all of a sudden we'll get some more stuff. So I don't know. But hey, now we got the full context of everything. Now I know everything, because I didn't know any of this shit, because I didn't watch any of it, because I wanted my full honest reaction. I maybe watched like a little bit of it, but not enough to see any of this. So, and by a little, I mean like maybe 2 seconds to figure out if I was actually interested in talking about it or not. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me talk about this very important shit. Sorry, I'm updating a bunch of shit. I haven't been on this computer forever. Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, I got nothing else. This is my first stream back. Hopefully we'll be being able to have a lot better streams from here on out. I do have plenty of time to be able to do them, I guess is the correct. I don't know. I have a lot of opportunity to actually start researching a lot better, so I hope to do that. Tomorrow I'll be back on same time. I'll talk about the whole trans visibility shit that happened on Easter. I really wanted to talk about this because this was far more interesting to me. And big news, relative news. It gets me, people will watch me because of this. Eventually. So yeah, I kind of missed the mark. I probably, it's a problem with doing shows like these where you're covering real time events. Is you kind of have to do it right while it's happening, or else you really can't get any traction, or you can't really get it, in the algo. But I'll still talk about it. Who fucking cares? Fuck you. I'll do it anyways. Do it live. So I guys hope you guys at the very least enjoyed watching me. Make sure again you follow me on X at officialwghost. Check out me on rumble.com/withghost, youtube.com/@withghost, twitch.tv @officialwghost, or sorry, @officialwithghost, and then of course X right above @officialwithghost, wghost. Sorry. And then check out Coffee Brand Coffee. That is the coffee company I use currently. I will be trying 1776 coffee. Have yet to do so. But eventually I will. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, whatever you want to do. And yeah, I hope you have a good day. Peace out and see you all later.